Hello and welcome to a 50-cent tour of Tuesday, May 21st, 2013. For those who live in Oklahoma, we offer you our prayers and our best wishes for recovery. Please find a seat on the Liberty Bus and we will begin our tour of the day, which does include some information about the Oklahoma tornado. And this video is amateur but quite remarkable. Late afternoon, May 18th, 2013, going into early AM, May 19th, 2013, a series of radar pulses, HAARP rings, scalar squares appeared over Oklahoma City, south across the state, and east to Tulsa. So the claim here is that it was caused by HAARP, and I have read and seen some information. Some people seem to believe that this is a false flag to detract from the political crises that are going on right now. Is that so? I don't know. Devastating tornadoes have been happening for a long time. There were 148 tornadoes. So was this HAARP? Well, possibly. I'm certainly not ruling that out. But these things do happen naturally. And Alex Jones was talking this morning about how there was somebody in Congress who was ranting about this and tying it into CO2 and climate change, global warming. First of all, CO2 is essential for plant life. It's called a greenhouse gas because it's green. It's actually very good for plants, but I don't want to really focus on that. However, the fact that that has been brought up, and everybody, anytime there's any kind of extreme or severe weather, there are some people who want to claim that this is climate change and brought on by global warming. Well, that's global warming, CO2. Of all the problems and issues that we have with the environment and pollution, I would rank that very, very low. And I just want to go through some of the things that are true threats to the environment. Anybody who claims to care about the environment and is not ranting and raving about toxic chemtrails, aluminum and barium being sprayed in the skies and precipitating out and poisoning the earth, I can't accept their sincerity as far as being truly concerned for the earth. So there's the chemtrail issue. We have, just from last week, this blog, record dolphins deaths and remaining pollution from the Gulf oil spill. Where people on the news ranting, where's people in Congress ranting about oil spills and the devastation caused by big oil, and pounding on their desk and saying there are alternative sources of energy, why are we not using them? Where are those people? If they're concerned about the environment, why aren't they concerned about getting rid of big oil? And of course, there's the pesticides. These things don't just stop somewhere. They get into the groundwater. They eventually get into the oceans. Pesticide content in food less regulated by Codex than vitamins and minerals. Where is the perspective here? Supreme Court colludes with Monsanto. With all the watching we do and all the monitoring, how come there's not some way that we can watch bank accounts of, judges and congressmen and people in the executive branch? How's come, if they're, where is the payoff? Follow the money. Obviously, these companies are making huge amounts of money, and that is why they are so firmly entrenched. We all know about big insurance too, and how much is driven by insurance. Alex Jones was just talking about, in light of the environmental issues with the tornadoes, about how ski resorts get insurance that they'll have snow so they can make their money. So insurance companies, rather than pay off, will get people who will seed clouds, and it'll snow so that the insurance companies don't have to pay out. That's how our country runs right now, and it has to stop, because it might make the bottom lines of some of these corporations look good, but it's killing us in the process. And of course, not just seeding clouds for ski resorts, but everything that Monsanto is doing with genetic engineering and the pesticides and just the toxins that they release on us. So the courts aren't going to help us with Monsanto, right? We know that. So the ball is in our courts. Shopping app lets you boycott Monsanto and others. It's called Boycott. Allows you to use your Android or iPhone to analyze products and determine if you're supporting Monsanto's GMOs, big food companies who are damaging your health, or simply low quality products. Another one, Fujicate. I love it. I love it. Moving on from that whole idea of the environment and the tornadoes, sort of moving on, I do want to just address, if it was engineered, and I'm not saying that it was. It might have been. That HAARP evidence is, certainly worth considering. How convenient. I mean, we're all hip to the bombs and the shootings and all that, and Alex Jones and people with video cameras, and they get busted immediately. This is a little harder to bust them, a little harder to get people to believe that this was crafted, something like a tornado was crafted. But it definitely is shifting the focus away from these scandals. But, Whitehouse damage control script jeopardized by new disclosure. So there's still, the heat is still on these people. The tornado probably has diminished it somewhat, but we got to, keep remembering and keep hitting this. What did Obama know about the IRS and when? And, Zero Hedge just always has such great information and so well documented. Steve Miller lied to Congress. Lois Lerner lied to Congress. Barack Obama lied to the American people. This scandal has the fingerprints of Axelrod, Jarrett, and or the Chicago machine all over it. This is fascism on the part of the IRS and the White House. It is fascism straight up. Or, as I call the IRS, organizing for revenue. So this is still, we don't want to lose sight of some of the, we always have to sift in our minds between the urgent and the important. And while the tornado information is urgent and it's certainly interesting, it always blows my mind a little bit to just see the force of nature. And, the F5 tornado is called the finger of God, and I don't see God that way as, putting his finger on people as judging and all that. But just the power that's around us. And, it's good sometimes to be reminded of how fragile human life is. But we got to keep our eye on the ball. What is really going on that's going to directly impact all of us, not just one city, not that that's not significant, but what is impacting all of us. UN quietly advances Agenda 21. that is another thing that we should not lose sight of. And this is a lead-in for what I want to say about Google and the article about Google. We went to see the Star Trek movie over the weekend, which is really fun. If you're a Star Trek fan, they took the old Wrath of Khan plot and turned it a little bit and made it new, and it's a fun movie. But I was bummed out at the beginning because this preview came on for the Internship with a couple of actors I happen to love. Vince Vaughn is known for being a Ron Paul supporter, but I'm so bummed out that he's in this movie, because this movie is like it's about Google. The Internship is an internship at Google. So this is PR for Google, and the fact that Google's meeting with the Bilderbergers, and it's right around the time this movie's coming out, June 7th. This is selling Google to the people, and it's, they don't want Google to be seen in a negative light. But dang, they're dangerous. Google's plan to take over the world. It's tough to get people to believe something like this, but it's just, here, I just want to read a couple of pull quotes. Google isn't just the backbone of the internet anymore. It's rapidly becoming the backbone of your entire life, all thanks to data you're voluntarily giving up to a private company based on your web searches, photos, Gmail messages, and more. After spending 3 days at I/O this week, it became more apparent than ever that unless billions of people suddenly change their mind and start using alternative tech tools, or unless the government steps in waving the antitrust banner, good luck with that, right? Our lives, our history, and our personal wealth could be managed by one company, Google. And they're meeting with the Bilderbergers. It's, big flag here, big flag. Forget the tornado. I mean, God love those people and help them recover and rebuild, but man, there's a lot of stuff going on that concerns us, and on which it's important for us to focus and tell people and pray and resist, find those alternative technologies so that you don't have to use Google. Okay, let's all calm down now, right? No, I'm probably the only one who's worked up. Meditation cuts death risk in half for people with heart problems. Yoga is helpful in meditation, and yoga helps to reset your DNA. So if you feel really stressed, try moving in this kind of a direction. The Daily Tour is a presentation of She Who Will Walk in the Dark Productions. Thanks for joining us on today's tour. The dawn is coming, and weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. Hoping that you are safe and that you feel safe. Hoping that you will love one another, take care, and insist on liberty.